Hi everyone, it's me again. If you're tired of seeing me, then I would suggest not watching my video. If you're not, hello. I'm gonna be drinking wine while I'm talking. And no, I'm not drunk. I literally had one sip so far. So, I haven't done this in a while, and I've been wanting to do it, and I've been wanting to be consistent with it, but it just has not worked out that way. Just not one of my priorities, but you know, as life changes and things inspire me, I'm surely inspired to talk to you guys about, you know, some of that. Maybe not so personally, but maybe like reflect and just let you guys keep you encouraged and kind of tell you, I guess, what I'm learning. So, this video today is for my lady friends. Hi, ladies. Specifically, my lady friends who kind of, this is not the most flattering angle. I'm okay with that. It's not about that. But specifically for my lady friends who are in a troubled relationship. And maybe not even in a troubled relationship, but even some of those ladies that are kind of brought down by a man in their life, whether it's a guy that they are currently dating or a guy that they have dated and it's kind of shaken their confidence. They're a little skeptical about men. Where do I even begin? Really, where do I even begin? I'm just gonna kind of speak. I didn't write notes or anything like I normally do, and I'm gonna try to watch the time and not keep it too long, because at the end of the day, it is pretty simple, and that's just stop doing what you're doing. Stop doing what you're doing. Stop letting a man who has no greater value than you, has equal value to you, define you and tell you whether or not you're beautiful, whether or not you are a catch, whether or not you are of value. Stop doing that. Stop letting a guy who's just, you know, not to degrade men, because men are equal in a sense of value. They're not our equal in a sense of necessarily capability, strength, all that stuff. We are created different for a reason, differently for a reason, for good reasons. But, you know, stop letting someone who is your equal define you. No one defines you unless they're greater than you, and no one is greater than you. So stop letting someone else overpower your way of thinking and break your spirit and change the way that you see yourself. That just doesn't, it's not going to work, and it doesn't make sense. Another thing I want to say to you ladies is to, and I know this is hard, and this is hard for a lot of single just people in general, is to be okay with letting go and being by yourself. Now, when I say by yourself, I mean by yourself romantically completely. Single is one of those words that's so wishy-washy, because you can be single but still have the same amount of dependency on the opposite sex, whether it be sexually, emotionally, just someone to even spend your time with. You know, you can't truly say that you're single if you're still entertaining the opposite sex, whether it be, like I said, sexually. How are you single technically if you have someone that you can always go to physically, that you talk to all day long, that you know, spend time with when you're alone, bored at night, and it's Netflix and chill time, you tell them to come over? That's not truly being single, and that's not truly getting to know yourself. So what's going to happen, and this is the unfortunate truth, I mean really a fortunate truth if you can grasp it and you can accept it, is that as long as you continue to do the same thing, you're going to get the same result. Now that is something that we've heard a million times, but it's true. It's true that you will continue to move from relationship to relationship to relationship. Even if they're different people, different characteristics, it's not about them, it's about you. As long as you cannot accept the fact that you are okay to be by yourself, that you do believe yourself to be strong, that you are encouraged within yourself, and that you do feel like you have great purpose, that you do feel like you have great value. As long as you're letting other people define you and you always have this dependency on other people, you will always be let down, because no one else can live up to the standards that you have. Okay? I already know how this video is going to be received by some people. It's going to be taken the wrong way. It's going to be taken as a sub because I, recently am out of a relationship, and I am not and will not speak negatively of Luca's father. It won't happen. And that's not my intention here. My intention is to kind of reflect and share with my fellow females some of what I'm learning and some of just what I see. I mean, it's not even just about, you have to also consider that I see so many women every week in my profession, and that I hear their stories, good and bad. And, some of you guys I've been working on for over a year. I've really seen your lives change and develop, but also my personal experience, also things, my family and friends personally, also things I see on social media. There is this generational thing going on right now. Dating has become so freaking hard because there is this sense of this grass is greener syndrome. And not only is there a sense of, there's typically one of two issues in a relationship. It's either you have the grass is greener syndrome and you believe that in different circumstances your life will be better because the other person will be better. False. You need to be better. You need to be better. No matter what other person you end up with, you also need to reflect yourself always, no matter how right you may be. And another thing that's happening in this generation, if it's not the grass is greener syndrome, it's this, it's this kind of, I don't even know how to put it into words, but I guess this kind of like quest for perfection. You have to realize that your relationship will never be perfect. As long as the love is there, as long as you two love each other and are both willing, truthfully, as long as both people are willing, you can make any relationship work. But that's a whole other idea and that's a whole other video. But what I really want to get to is just speaking to my ladies and encouraging you to have the strength to walk away from situations that you should not be in. You cannot sit and wait for things to change. It is not fair to wait for someone else to change. I won't sit here and say that people never change because it's absolutely not true. I change. God, if you knew me, if you've known me for a long time, you know that I've changed. And, every year I kind of look back and I'm like, wow, my circumstances, my situation is so different. My way of thinking is so different. I could go through the same situation again and my way of handling it will be different because I am different. So I will never say that people won't change, but I will say it's not fair to sit around and wait for someone to change. It's not, women, we tend to go for that potential, and that potential is absolutely true. Absolutely. But you never know when it's going to happen because it's not on your time. It's not a time that you can choose. It's a time that they choose, and you never know when that's going to be. And chances are, as much as I hate to say it because I don't like to even be an inkling of negative ever, is that it could be never, it could be a long time, but it's up to them. And sometimes they don't want to make that change until their circumstances change. So people change why and how, because their circumstances, their life looks a little different, because the things around them change. As long as they're in the same situation with the same woman, living the same life, in the same home, same job, same everything, why you don't really change. So be brave, be bold. I encourage my ladies out there to walk away from a situation that you should not be in, to have the strength to leave a situation that is robbing you of your potential. What about you? What about how you can change and how you can grow? You don't have to be bound to this other person. Like us, we're not meant to be these, I hate to say, for lack of better terms, weak people. We're not made for that. That's not what we're intended to be. We're not meant to have to rely on another person for our happiness and our confidence and we don't need someone else to validate that for us. So I just encourage you, and I know it's hard, but make those good friends. Focus on your children. Focus on your career. Work on you. You will never find a better opportunity as long as you are hanging on to your not so good opportunity. okay? And it's not to say that the person you're with is necessarily wrong, because let's face it, you chose them. You chose them probably knowing what they were about, probably knowing what they were like, and you still continue to live a life with them. You still continue to stay committed. You still continue to purchase a house with them. You still continue to marry them. You still continue to give them children. So let's take responsibility also, but at some point, you have to look at yourself and you have to change. How are you going to change your life? It's going to be because of you. It's going to be because of walking away. It's going to be because you know that you deserve better. I could cry because it's such like a real issue that I see, and it drives me nuts. We are not meant to live these mediocre lives. But ladies, I just encourage you to walk away from the situations you don't need to be in. Walk away from the relationship. You'll be okay being by yourself. You're not gonna die. You're gonna be sad. You're gonna be mad. They're gonna be spiteful. They're gonna date other people. Maybe people you know. Maybe you'll see it all over social media. It just is what it is. Are you really going to stay in a situation because you don't want someone else to have that situation? Because you want someone else to end up with them? Why? Why does the other person have more value than you have for you? Why do you need this person to feel whole? Do they bring you more joy than they bring you despair? Why must you be with them? Are you not an individual? Did you always have them? What are you robbing yourself from? What could be better in your life if you let them go? Are you willing to accept the fact that they will be that way forever? But it could be that way. You never know. What's better, hurting for a little bit and moving on and making a better life for yourself, or staying in the same situation forever because you fear change? Ladies, we have depreciated in value and we have allowed it. And that's just not, I can't accept that. And I can't just sit by and let people do it. If you choose to do it, that you continue to make that choice. But I'm just here to encourage you and to let you know that it does not have to be. It doesn't have to be that way. Chances are, before you met the person that you're struggling with now, you dated someone else that you thought you would never get over. And you did, right? You met someone else and it worked out, and now you're in love with this person. Now you're in that situation. You can do it again. You can be single, and you can feel empowered doing so. You do not need another person, especially someone who's bringing you down. Be encouraged. Have the courage. Make a change in your life. It's now or never. It's now or never. It's either you can look at your life a year from now and it may be the same. It may be worse. Is that something that you can just sit back and be okay with? I promise you that as long as you're doing the same thing, you will get the same results. Try something different. Commit to yourself. Love yourself. Stop settling for Netflix and chill. Tell some dude he can bring you on a date. Stop settling for a drink. Tell him, no, you can feed me a dinner. Stop letting these dudes come to your house. No, you can meet somewhere else. You can have an experience together. You know, we have to take responsibility, because at the end of the day, we teach men. We teach men. You know, we're the ones flaunting the selfies and the cleavage and the butt out and the bikinis and whatever else. They just kind of go along with what they're taught. Let's be real. Men go along with what they're taught. Do not dare let a man that had to come out of a woman disrespect you. Don't let it happen. I think that's all I have to say today. Be encouraged. Love yourself. Take care of yourself. Do not let your bad situation continue. Be empowered. You are not alone. There's a million other women out there. Link up with one of them. Write one of them. Say, hey, I'm getting over a breakup. I see you are too. Let's hang out. Let's form a bond. Let's empower each other. It's time to start, ladies. The time is now or never, because dating is only getting worse. Have a good day.